for me to be to the highest degree. Well, Clive, this week I've gone a bit trendy and I've brought a beatboxer to the Loose Ends party.
Right.
Now, when I say beatboxer, what I actually mean is an award-winning beatboxing musician, theatre-making artist, writer, director, singer and rapper who in his spare time is the artistic director of Battersea Arts Centre's Beatbox Academy and, yes, there's an and, he is also the composer of the stage adaptation of Alex Wheatl's Crongton Nights, which is currently supposedly touring the UK. I'm going to be talking to the very brilliant Conrad Murray in about 15 or 20 minutes.
All right. And does beatboxing go on? Or because boxing, the hitting each other?
I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe you can do some boots and cats. And
yes.
There you go. That's a technical term.
Oh, you've lost me already. So we're going to start. Hand over to you now, Scottee.
Thanks very much. Now, in the theatre game, Conrad Murray is everyone's much-loved big brother. Listeners might know him as the co-director and creator of the hugely successful Frankenstein adaptation that debuted at last year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival and won a whole load of awards and a ton of critical acclaim. He's just gone and done it, but he's also just done the composition for Alex Wheatl's young adult book, Crongton Nights, which is currently, supposedly, still on the road. Conrad, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Tell me about the show and how you got involved as a composer.
Crongton Nights is a show about Alex Wheatle. Basically, it's about young people in London, or any kind of city, but to me, I kind of feel like I could recognise the places. I was asked to come in to kind of check out an R&D, to check out what's going on. And I was kind of like, I wasn't sure what they wanted because they said we need some music. So I was like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. So I was like, dropping some beats and then getting the cast to kind of do beats and rapping and then putting the songs together for it, basically. And
just for listeners at home, that sound that we just heard just came from your mouth. Okay.
This is the trouble with beatboxing on the radio. We could be playing in some music, couldn't we? So we've got to know you're doing it.
Yeah.
And tell us about the show. So it's 6 individuals from an estate in London.
Yeah. And they're going on a journey. Basically, someone's got some pictures on a phone, like inappropriate pictures, and they need to get the phone back. But then along the way, they kind of like get in other scrapes and problems. It's kind of like the ghetto version of the Goonies. So, I mean, that's kind of how I see it.
Good. Well, they should have that on the poster, really.
That's what I'm saying. But it's got like grime in there. It's got rapping in there. It's super contemporary, but with a more dramatic kind of heart to it.
Yeah, and you're responsible for how it sounds. I mean, just to paint the picture, there's 6 people on stage, beatboxing, singing, text, spoken word. Like, was that a bit of a nightmare to put together?
I mean, yeah, it's difficult. From the get-go, I was kind of like, this is, we're going to do this, and it's not going to be easy because everything, all the beats, all the music, everything is live from the mouth the whole time, and then you're going to go into speaking, and then you're going to be dancing and doing all the music from the cast. But it's
so they've got to have many skills then, the performers.
Yeah. So to putting that ensemble together is tricky because you need to find people that either are quite skilled or they're ready. They're going to go on a journey with you. You're going to do this. And actually, a lot of the time, I think for some people it's like, no, this isn't going to happen. Like, obviously, at some point, we're going to get click tracks, we're going to get pitch pipes, we're going to get backing tracks. It's like, we're going to get none of that. We're going to learn how to, going to have to hit pitch, live, bang, go into the song, and everyone's going to be doing the beats and the sounds at the same time. And that's a lot of training, but that's what makes it fun because you got to do it, practice, put it together.
And so how did you get into this? Because, where did your training come from?
Messing about in my bedroom, jamming with other people, writing raps, getting together. I guess it's kind of creating something from nothing. Just years ago, beatboxing was just something everyone did. Put a beat on, people might rap to whatever, and then now it's become a kind of more of a thing in itself. And then what I've done is created kind of a genre of theatre with beatboxing as a core, but it's everything else.
How did you get into the theatre game? Because you're making these massive adaptations now, particularly if you think about the success that Frankenstein had last year, it's about to go out on the road again. How did you get from just practicing in your room to making these massive shows?
Well, the Battersea Arts Centre is kind of like a big part of that because I went to South Thames College and my tutor took us to Battersea Arts Centre. And it's got this marble staircase and stuff. It's a bit like when MPs say they walked into Parliament and thought, I need to be here. It's completely alien to me, but I was like, wow, I just want to be here with these mad rich people doing this mad stuff. But how's that gonna happen? How can I come in and do? I don't know how that's gonna happen. But I just kept going back. So there's a youth theatre there. There's like a 2-year waiting list, but I just went anyway. In the first session, they're like, I just went in the session, and at the end they're like, Conrad, we don't know who you are. You need to go home. and get on the waiting list, and you haven't paid. And I just went back, and I realized, whoa, these guys ain't gonna send me home, because you can say. So I just went back the next week, and then the director said to one of the producers, actually, he's because also I brought a crew of other people with me as well. Like, oh, this place, we can go in there. They're gonna send us home, but we just keep going back. And then
Forced your way in.
basically, yeah. And then we kept going back. Me, my brother Barry, and Tyrone Junior. We just kept doing our thing. And being at BAC, kind of, people started to know us as kind of like these guys that doing rap and doing their own thing and like bringing
and
something
just
else.
Won't go home.
Basically. They're not paying either. But and then basically, like, we wanted to set up our own thing, because the theatre group was great and we're learning loads of stuff. But it's kind of like, how can we kind of do what we want to do, like our aesthetic, the things that we do culturally, basically.
And now you're the artistic director of the Battersea Arts Centre's Beatbox Academy.
Yeah.
Like, you must have a real sense of pride of walking in there as a participant and
mate.
now holding that space.
It's pretty insane. And it's almost like it's everything I dreamed about doing as well. It's kind of like, I remember we saying, imagine like if there's just a space here where it's just about like rapping and hip hop culture, and it, it was like a faraway dream. But now, like, BAC has this thing, like, and people know it, and we do it. And I still pinch myself. I still think, like, I still feel lucky to be able to doing it, even though, like, I've been pushing it forward. I still look around and think, wow, like, this is everything I dreamed of, this existing in this building. So it's a real privilege, and like, but yeah, I'm excited, privileged, but I still want to kick those doors down and do new stuff.
Well, let's talk about your work as an artist, because not only as a composer, as I said, and an artistic director, you're also an artist in your own right. And looking at works like Denmarked and High Rise: A State of Mind, you've used that lived experience to sort of paint a picture of what I see as a more contemporary picture of working classness. Is it important for you to kind of hold that space in theatres? But also, I guess I'm interested in what is it that you want audiences to understand from your lived experience in your life?
I wanted to know, like, that kind of like, just because you might be from like, live on a council estate, or like, I'm mixed race as well. I'm Anglo-Indian. Like, we've got one those stories are not on stage to me, and also we're complex. We're not just the hero, and we're not just the villain. So like in Denmark, I talk about stealing, I talk about all sorts of bad stuff, but I also it's also got a heart and says this is why it happens. And actually, what I wanted to be doing was good stuff. You know what I mean, had been given the opportunity, we can do good stuff. We're not all good. We're not all bad. It's quite nuanced, but also it's about kind of putting those stories out there for people, so other people to see themselves and to see myself as well. Like, I'm doing the stories that I wished I could have seen growing up.
You mentioned there about you don't see stories like yours on the stage. Why do you think that is?
I don't think there's enough opportunities. I don't think it's difficult. I think the people that pick the shows to go on, they either want one certain thing or they fetishize certain particular stories. So if there's any nuance of working class people or minorities, they don't want it. They want it to be one thing or another thing. And that's really difficult, because they don't know how to look at you or your work or your stories. They want to tell you how to do them for a start. Like, why are you telling the story like this? Why are you doing that? And it's like, that's how I would do it. That's how we do it. And like, if you want new audiences, and like, there are new audiences out there to come to the theatre, or, in the world now, to your live stream, because theatre's been cancelled, you're going to need to have these new voices and new aesthetics.
Well, let's talk about that, because Arts Council England this week issued a statement in response to COVID to say that they're looking to support artists and companies in this time of uncertainty. And at this time of recording, government are still just advising people not to go to theatres, clubs and bars. Have you experienced like closure? Your friends, your peers, what's going on in the sector?
A lot of people got their stuff cancelled. Like, I was supposed to be like doing something at the Globe. I was super excited, first time doing something there, cancelled, everything cancelled. We were supposed to do in Frankenstein at the National. I'm guessing that's cancelled. Like, basically, I don't know how I'm going to be making any money for a start. I'm broke, basically. I'm going broke. I don't know what's going to happen. So a couple of jobs I've had are Arts Council jobs, so that they're giving me some of the fee. But this ain't nothing. Do you know what I mean? It ain't nothing. And because I was just in Adelaide for 6 weeks with Frankenstein, we won Pick of the Fringe, by the way. I was, we were just spending and partying like I had all these other gigs coming up, and then it's like, whoa, what's that? I thought this was coming forward. It's like I should have been a bit more, tightening my belt a little bit.
Well, maybe we should end on something a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah.
What's coming up next after Crongton Nights, if you know?
After Crongton Nights, I'm doing a High Rise State of Mind
Right.
at Manchester home. And that's about like the spaces that you live. It's about my experience of living on an estate and all the cast members' experiences, but also like how the spaces we live define us. And in a way, like it kind of relates a bit to now, because in the show, everyone's like living in one tower block and like on top of each other, and everyone's living at home kind of like on top of each other at the moment. I'm working on a film with Mark Jobs, who's the director of The Witcher and Daredevil and others, and it's an intergenerational musical. And we're mixing beatbox and dance with, do you know Bird Gang?
No.
They're like a dance company. So like, and the dance is like, and dance and the music are a massive kind of aesthetic in the film to tell the story. And I'm writing the lyrics for that with Yolanda Mercy. And it's going to be, it's quite an experimental film. But Mark Jobs is interesting because he does all these big things like The Witcher and stuff. Then also like, he likes like this real kind of like these real stories. That's going to be a mad thing. And I'm writing a book. And I'm writing a book with Katie Beswick. Do you know her?
No.
I keep saying, you know. I'm writing a book. It's called Beatbox and Elements, and it's about.
I think it's a good job the theatres are going. You've got the time now to do all these
I know,
different
to be
projects.
honest, like some people have said to me, like, "Oh, you can actually like get cracking," and it's a practical guide on how to make theatre, like with the aesthetic of like hip hop, beatbox, and it talks about the influence of hip hop in kind of UK culture and theatre over kind of the last like 20 years. The tips and guides, and you can each morning with your cornflakes and make a show in the evening.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're going to have enough on anyway.
Yeah, not paid at the moment, but you know.
Well, it says here you can catch Crongton Nights for the next few nights in Derby. Is that happening?
Cancelled, everything cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not happening. But Frankenstein is back on tour later this year, and
Yeah.
you've got a book coming out very soon as well.
Yeah, called Beats and Elements. Check it out. Shout out to Katie Beswick. Shout out to Beatbox Academy. Shout out to Beats and Elements. Yo, you know how I do.
I'm living for this. Absolutely. People at home listening to Radio 4, having their tea going, what? What just happened? Conrad
We're
Murray.
shouting out.
Shout out for Clive Anderson.
Shout out to Clive Anderson. Shout out to Scottee. Shout out to Neve, Annika Rice, all them things there.
You don't have to shout out. We're all here.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Yo,
Clive.
thank you.
Thanks both of you.